Hello, Keith Ruck here at VintageMachinery.org. So, I'm going to do another little odds and ends video for you, and this is going to be a first. We're going to do the whole odds and ends video in the new shop. And it's going to be largely about the new shop. So I'm going to give you guys a little update of what's been going on and just some plans for the future, kind of some things we're going to be working on, and just how we're going to proceed from here. Also got a viewer mail item here we're going to go over, and I guess we'll start with the viewer mail. So let me zoom in on that, and we'll get going. So I got an email this past week from Tony Bonaviso up in New Rochelle, New York, which I believe is up near New York City, if I'm correct. Forgive me, I don't know my New York geography that well. But Tony had seen in a couple of my videos where I made a comment that I didn't have a high heat blanket to cool down parts when I was brazing. So he wanted to remedy that, and this is what he sent me. An emergency fire blanket. And this is, of course, designed to go on the wall, and you would pull it out, but this is what I'm interested in, the actual blanket itself. So what this is this is a high heat blanket, fire resistant, whatever, that I can take this and wrap up parts that I've heated up with a torch, and it'll keep them insulated and cool them down slowly. So when I'm doing something like brazing a part and need to cool it down slow, this will be the trick. And it's got this nice handy little container. I think I might just hang this on the wall over by my welder. And in addition to being a heat blanket to cool things down, I can also double use it as an emergency fire blanket, just in case it's ever needed. So Tony, thanks a lot, appreciate that. Something needed, something that we'll definitely put to use out here in the new shop. So thank you very much. So next big thing I guess we got done accomplishing since the last video is some more framing. And I mentioned we were going to do this in the last video, the last shop update we did. But as we showed you before, we've got the bathroom framed in over on the left side of the shop, and then we got on the right side this wall. And the center section that you see right here in the middle, I will eventually frame that in to have a wall. We'll have some doors in there to separate the wood shop area from the metal shop area. Mostly sawdust control is what I'm after here. I don't want to get a lot of wood dust over on the metalworking side of the shop. But I needed to also close up the top, so we went ahead and got that done. And I needed to get that done before we did insulation in here, just because it would be harder to frame up around the top with the insulation in there. So this past Monday was Memorial Day. It was a day off from work, and that morning I got a college kid that's home for the summer that was looking to make a little extra cash, came over, and we put some scaffolding up in there and got that framed up. Took most of the morning, but we were done by lunchtime before it got too terribly hot too. That heat's rising down here in South Georgia where I'm at. It was about 95 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday. So that was on the last day of May, so not even June 1st, we're already hitting mid-90s. So as you can imagine, on that tin roof and up high, the heat rising, it gets pretty warm up there. So we got started early in the morning and got that knocked out. I did frame in up there, and I haven't decided if I'm going to actually do it or not, but I did frame in an opening up there that I can put another exhaust fan in to exhaust the heat from the top area. I've got one in the back. You can kind of see it back there. And again, I'm a little bit on the fence as to whether I'm going to actually put a fan up there or maybe just put some louvers up there where the air can move between the two areas, or I may just close it all up. But I figured as long as I was framing, we'd go ahead and put it in there rather than having to go back and do it later. But got that checked off the list. So also this past week, I got on the phone and got a couple of estimates on doing the foam insulation. I've talked about before, I really want to do foam insulation up on the ceiling area, partially because it's just going to be a lot easier to apply it rather than having to get batting. And part of it is, quite honestly, I just don't want to have to fool with the fiberglass up that high on scaffolding or on a scissor lift or whatever, they can come in here and blow it in pretty quick. And also the foam insulation is a lot more efficient than fiberglass bat insulation. So anyway, I'm looking at doing the open cell. I know they offer an open cell and a closed cell. I'm looking at doing the open cell for several reasons. Number one, and really the main reason is that one of the things that I'm doing research on the foam insulation, one of the downsides to putting the closed cell in a ceiling or in a roof, I guess more accurately, is that if you ever get a leak in the roof, you really can't tell because it's waterproof. Water won't go through it, so you can have some serious problems develop and you not be aware of it until you start getting rotting timbers and stuff up in the roof. So with open cell, the water will come through it if you ever get a leak, so you know you have a leak. And that was probably my main reason, but other reasons. You lose a little bit of efficiency with the open cell. The closed cell is a little bit more efficient as far as insulating, but it's not a huge difference. Another advantage of the open cell over the closed cell, at least for my situation here, is that the closed cell tends to bounce a lot of sound around, whereas the open cell tends to absorb more sound. And because this is going to be a shop environment, it's going to be a lot of noise in here, but also it's going to become my studio for doing YouTube videos. And just now you can hear the echo in here just from the open walls in such a large area. So I'm really hopeful that we're using the closed cell that will absorb a lot of the sound and make doing videos and stuff in here a little bit easier to do. And the third reason is it's a little bit cheaper. Not a lot cheaper, but it is a little bit cheaper. And I'm financing everything as we go now. I did borrow a little bit of money paid for part of the shop up front, borrowed a little bit of money to get it to this point, but from pretty much this point on, I'm cash flowing and doing what I can when I can, which leads me to the next thing. So to do the foam insulation, it's going to be about $7,000, which is a lot of money. In fact, that's a big chunk of the total budget that I've got in this whole building thus far, and it's just going to take me a little while to get that money saved up to do it. So I've got part of it. I got a good chunk of it saved up right now, anticipating that, but I'm probably looking at a little while before we can get this done. So we'll get there, but that's really the next big thing in the shop is to get the installation done. And because of that, I'm probably going to pretty much quit working on the shop at this point, just because every time I do anything out here, I'm spending money, and I need to spend the money on the installation. So we're going to, which is good for you guys, because for the last couple of months, almost every bit of my spare time has been devoted to getting the shop to where it's at. And I haven't had time to get projects done. So it's going to allow me to get back and do some projects. I'm going to talk about some of those in just a minute. Another thing that I went ahead and did, I'm over here at the main circuit breaker that we've got in the shop. And of course, power's on now, everything's going. But I did want to go ahead and be able to run some three-phase machinery in here. Mainly with trying to do some work in here on a couple of things I've got coming up. And so what I did is I've got a rotary phase converter that I've had for many years. It's been installed up in my other little shop. And basically what I've done is I've come in and kind of done a temporary installation down here so I can at least have some three-phase power. So this box here basically is the guts of the phase converter. We got an idler motor down here on the floor. The phase converter, this is a home-built job. Used some plans off the internet many years ago, and it works great. I built it for a 10 horsepower idler, but all I had was a 7.5 motor. So right now I've just got a 7.5 motor on it, but it can take up to a 10 horse. And then from this, it goes over to a little load center here where I've got a circuit breaker in here just for some protection. And then I had this feeding in my other shop into a little small, I think like 6-circuit, 3-phase panel. It was actually a sub panel because that's just what I had. hence the reason for this. So I had some protection going into it, and then that ran out to some branch circuits in the old shop. So I pulled all this out, put it in here. Right now I've just got one receptacle in here, and I've got an extension cord that I can kind of move around from machine to machine. Again, this is temporary, but it all works. I can turn on the phase converter, that kicks the idler in, and we've got three-phase power, at least right here. So long term, I haven't really decided. I know I talked at one time about combining this one with the little smaller phase converter I have to get my total amp capability up or horsepower rating up. I'm still toying with that option. I'm also toying with just building a bigger phase converter, or either purchasing a bigger phase converter. I'm not sure yet. This will probably have to do, this phase converter will probably have to do for the short term, but long term, particularly when I get some larger machines in here, I'm going to run out of capacity with this pretty quickly. One thing that I need to get sooner than later, and again, probably be a little bit later because my focus right now is on the installation, but I want to get a nice three-phase circuit breaker box, panel box that I can put in here, and then I will run circuits out throughout the shop. You know, I've got that smaller one up near the shop, but it doesn't have no circuits in it. So we'll just probably go ahead and get another three-phase panel, put that in here, and feed the phase converter into that, and then that will feed out to the different circuits in the shop, again, long term. But for right now, this temporary setup will get us by, and it will allow us to get some machines hooked up down here where we can at least run something in the new shop as needed. Another little item here I'll show you guys, since I got it right here behind me, picked up this past week. Got this 10-inch Baldor grinder. I was kind of excited about this. This is a three-phase grinder, but nice 10-inch Baldor grinder. You can't beat a Baldor. Baldor made an excellent, excellent grinder. This actually, I purchased it from a viewer, Neil Tyson, who lives up in the Huntsville, Alabama area. I've visited up at Neil's shop on several occasions when I've been up there, and he actually was coming through the area, wanted to come visit the museum this past weekend, and he brought this down to me, sold it to me. And the backstory on this is that Neil recently purchased a lot of these from government surplus auction somewhere or another. He got, I think it was 9 grinders, most of them Baldor. I think there were a couple other little brands in there as well. All of them in pretty decent shape. And he didn't need 9 grinders, so he kind of let a couple of buddies in on the deal, and I was able to get this one from him. So I know that right now it's wired for 440 three-phase. I've got the wiring diagram. I've got to change a couple of wires around to get it running on 220, which is what my system's running in here. While I've got the grinder, it doesn't have any wheels, so I'm going to have to find some 10-inch wheels for this thing, which shouldn't be too much trouble, I'm hoping. And I may go ahead and give it a paint job or whatever. It's very clean. In fact, Neil said, when I got it, I said, man, that thing's clean. He says, well, I cleaned them. So thank you, Neil. You did half my work for me. You know, quite honestly, there's not a whole lot of paint that needs to come off of these. These can pretty much just be touched up and painted. It looks like it's in good shape. So haven't plugged it in and ran it yet, but I'm optimistic it ought to be a good runner. So hopefully we'll get this going down here soon, and I'll have me a good grinder to go along with some of my other grinders. Man, you can't have too many grinders, can you? So anyway, I'm excited to pick this up. Thanks, Neil. Well, a couple of videos back, I mentioned that I was itching to get started restoring this lathe, but I was holding off until I got the shop where it needed to be because I didn't want to be distracted from finishing things up in here. But with me needing to hold off on the shop now to wait on the installation, I've decided it's time to kind of kick back in gear and get back on some projects that need to be wrapped up, as well as I'm going to probably go ahead and get started restoring this lathe. So number one at the top of the list, and I know some of you guys will be very happy to hear this, is to finish the foundry furnace. I'm almost got it done. It just needs probably a good weekend or a day or two to just sit down and focus on it and get done. And that's probably going to be my project this coming weekend. is to just focus on the foundry furnace and try to get it knocked out. The lathe, this is probably my next big priority, is I want to start getting this thing cleaned up, checked out, and just, basically what I want to do is I just want to go through the whole thing. And I'm probably going to disassemble a lot of it. We're going to go ahead and strip the paint off of this, repaint it. From what I know, this lathe is in pretty good shape. I know there's a few little issues, nothing major, but just some little small things that need to be worked out. And I don't even know exactly what all those are. I do know a couple little things. But it just cosmetically needs a lot of work more than anything else. The ways are appear to be in good shape. I haven't actually put an indicator on it yet to test it out. I need to do that. We'll probably do that on camera as we're moving along here and show you that process. But I'm going to make a series of videos on restoring this lathe and just go through the whole process. So you guys will get to walk along with that. One thing that I do want to do is, and now that I literally, just right before I started this video, I finished getting my three-phase all hooked up and ready to go. I've got the lathe plugged into the three-phase. I have not even tried this machine out yet. I was not able to run it when I bought it. I was told that it was running. But anyway, I went ahead and got this thing hooked up. So we're going to turn it on camera. And you guys will get to see, along with me for the first time, it run and play around with it. I don't know all the controls and stuff on this thing, so I'm going to be figuring out some of this as I go. And again, I know that there's there's actually a piece on the carriage here. There's a handle. I think it may be what engages the feed. I'm not sure yet. It's actually sitting, I got the parts. It's sitting up yonder in my other shop, but it was taken off for some reason. There was probably a problem with it, and it's not even on here. So anyway, let's try it out and fire it up. So I'll start out by saying that this is the way the electricals were when I got this, and I am not happy with that one bit. I'm sure it worked, but you know, you got it's a box, it's down here, it's in the way, it's on your knee, there's no cover on the motor starter, and actually there was a cord coming out of this, and I was gonna just wire into that cord, this cord here that's cut off now, and it was a 3-wire cord, didn't even have a ground in it. And I said, you know what, I'm funny about my electrical stuff. I said, I'm sure, well, I know it would work, but just not having a ground on here just is not the way I want to start things. So I've bypassed the drum switch right now. It's going to be a bit of a pain to hook it in there because the other box is in the way. So I just got it hooked up right now where it's properly grounded. And again, let me go turn the phase converter on, and we'll hit the switch and see what happens. All right, guys, here goes nothing. Kind of scared to push it. Let's see what happens. All right, hey, that sounds good. Motor's running. I don't know if it's running in the right direction or whether I need to flip a wire. So on 3-phase, you can change the direction of the motor by swapping any of the 3 wires that feed it. So a lot of times when you wire something up, you have to kind of turn it on and see if it's turning in the right direction. And if not, just flop a couple of wires. So it may be running right. So let's see. I think this engages the spindle. Yep. And it is turning in the correct direction. Had the drum switch on here, I guess reverse the motor. I would have thought there would have been a reverse in the actual machine, but I haven't really investigated that too far yet. It appears to be running. It sounds good. I don't hear any bad teeth or anything like that. Let's see. I don't know what this. Oh, okay. So that actually engages the spindle as well as the lever up top. That's nice. So I think that engages the half nut for threading, but that one's not spinning, so I don't know what we need to do to. Let's see. Well, maybe not. There it goes. Yeah, so that's for threading. Again, I think my lever to engage the actual feed is off of here right now, so we'll have to get all that worked out later. This looks promising, guys. I'm literally doing this for the first time right here on camera, so I'm not sure what this is. Okay, that reverses the feed. This handle's not original, so I'm not sure why they've got that on there, unless that may be what this handle down here does, is reverses the feed direction. I bet it is, because I bet there was a problem and he probably jury-rigged that handle over there. So, all right, well, that was what I wanted to see. So I was playing around off camera, and you got this little lever right here, and if you pull that up, that engages the feed. We've got I'm going backwards right now, so let's see. So I reverse I reverse my direction there, so that should, yep, that's feeding in. And if you go down below that, you see now it's feeding the cross slide here. So that's good. My feeds are working, so awesome. Anyway, I've got some stuff to learn on this lathe, no doubt about it. But again, it appears to be working. And I don't see anything obvious that's terribly wrong with it, so that's very encouraging. So there you go, the lathe project is coming up soon. I'm excited. It works. I could probably chuck something up in this and go to using it right now, but we are going to go ahead and tear it down and give it the attention it needs. Look the serial number up on this machine. I want to say it was made in 1941, so it's probably just pre-World War II, more than likely. At least for the U.S., World War II. So it probably was not a war production machine per se, but it is likely that, you know, America was gearing up for war production even before we entered the war for our allies, for Great Britain and so forth. So it very well could have been made for war production. One thing I did notice is I got a little oil window here. We should be seeing some oil dripping in here from the headstock. I'm not seeing any oil pumping, so it may just be that the headstock's empty. I'm going to probably just pull the cover off the top and do a visual inspection. Get in there with a flashlight, see if there's any gunk down in the bottom that needs cleaning out. I'll probably flush it all out anyway as part of the restoration. But so I don't know if we're just missing oil or if the oil pump's not working, but we'll figure all that out. Anyway, I'm happy. I'm very happy. I'm actually now looking forward to getting here with an indicator and really trying to look and see how much wear may be on the ways on this machine. It does not appear to be much wear at all, but we'll just have to get in here and see. All right, guys, that'll be a wrap for this edition. Again, spent most of this last week just working on the shop itself. Oh, one thing I did want to mention. Last Saturday, I spent most of the day in the shop doing machining work, but it was finishing up the railroad wheels. And I already had done a video on that, really didn't see a need to shoot anything else. So last Saturday I spent probably about half the day out at the museum, and we finished the other 5 wheels that we had. And you can go back and look at that older video if you want to see how we did those. And good news is we did not have any more inclusions in any of the castings. You guys saw in that video that there were some pretty nasty inclusions in there. The rest of the castings look great. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's just one bad casting, which happens. I mean, it just happens. So makes me feel a little bit better about that. And we'll be getting some more castings. They got plenty of wheel castings. They only brought 8 for me to do right now, but I'm going to get another one or probably a couple extras and go ahead and machine them out, and we'll probably be making some more for them down the road. I also want to mention, I had said in that last video that those wheels were made out of cast steel. Since then, I've done a little bit of testing and just, well, not very scientific testing, but just observational testing, and I think I have concluded, and it's still, I'm not 100% certain because nobody's told me for sure, but I'm pretty sure that the material in it is actually ductile iron rather than cast steel. So it's still a cast iron, but ductile iron is a little bit higher quality cast iron, I guess, in my opinion. It's not as bad to crack. It's a lot more durable, and that's actually a good material choice, I think, for those wheels. So I'm pretty sure that's what that is. I have not done a lot of machining on ductile iron in the past. Most of my cast iron, I do a lot of cast iron work. Most of it has been, just regular gray iron, where ductile iron is, again, just a little bit more wear resistant and less light. It's not as brittle and so forth like that. It's actually a superior product, I think, for many applications, these railroad wheels included. So wanted to throw that out, but we got that pretty much done. We'll be following up with doing some CNC work at some point down in the future. I got to get that lined up. It's probably going to be a month or so before we can get that done. The next couple of weeks for me, it's now basically June. I've got this coming weekend, and I'm planning on working in the shop, doing, working on the furnace, maybe working on the lathe. Then the next 3 weekends in a row, I've got stuff planned. So the following Saturday, I think I'm gonna be up in the Atlanta area visiting a friend of mine. He's actually having a little shop party over at his house. He's invited me to, so I'm gonna go up and do that. And then the weekend after that, Mike Wiggins, Backyard Machine Shop, he's going to come down, and we're going to make a trip over and pick up another piece of machinery that I've had purchased for a while, and we're going to go ahead and try to get it moved out here to the shop. It's time to get it done. And then the weekend after that is the Bar Z Summer Bash out in California that I'm really looking forward to going to and seeing a lot of folks, and hope to see many of you guys at the Bar Z Bash. And if you haven't already signed up and can, it's not too late. I think Stan still has some room. So go check out Stan Zinkowski, Shaden HKW on YouTube, and come see us at the Bash, Rancho Cucamonga, California, on the last weekend in the month of June in 2016. So looking forward to that. So with that, we'll wrap it up. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next time.